The world borrowed billions from China. Now they are paying the price, literally. For years, China branded itself as the world's development partner, the nation that built roads, ports, and power plants while promising to finance a new era for Global South. But that story is shifting quietly, dramatically. Today, developing countries are paying more to China than they are borrowing. According to the Global Development Policy Center at Boston University, the net outflow stands at $3.9 billion every year, meaning more money is leaving these countries in repayments and interest than they are receiving in new loans. Yes, you heard that right. The lender has become the collector. Let's rewind the tape. Between 2008 and 2024, Chinese state banks poured $472 billion into more than 900 projects across globe, building everything from railways in Kenya to power grids in Pakistan and telecom cables in Latin America. Africa alone received over $60 billion, while Latin America got about $120 billion. And Asia around $90 billion in Chinese-backed investments. But there was a clever strategy behind those friendly loans. The leverage, of course, was a debt trap. If the country couldn't pay back the loan, China could simply take over the project it funded. This is exactly how China took control of Sri Lanka's Hambantota Port, a $1.5 billion project that island nation could not pay and is now leased to China for 99 years. For years, countries like Pakistan, Zambia, and Ethiopia had no other choices. Western lenders were cautious, and China looked generous, fast, and ready to provide capital for everything. Everyone wanted a share of Chinese vision of development. All of this came wrapped in the promise of prosperity under China's Belt and Road Initiative, launched in 2013. Think of Kenya's $4.7 billion standard gauge railway, Pakistan's $62 billion China-Pakistan economic corridor, or Sri Lanka's $1.5 billion Hambantota Port, which Beijing now controls under a 99 years lease. But here's the problem. Many of those loans were medium term, with grace period of just a few years. Those grace periods have now expired, and the bills are piling up. Between 2022 and 23, developing countries paid $67 billion to Chinese lenders while taking in only $63 billion in new loans. For the first time in more than a decade, the money is flowing back to Beijing, not out of it. Why is this happening? Partly because the loans are maturing, but there's more. China's own economy has slowed. Growth has slipped to around 4.7%, and local governments are drowning in 12 trillion of domestic debt. Beijing is no longer the big spender it once was. Instead, it's turning cautious, experimenting with softer power tools. Yuan denominated bonds, tariff waves on 98% of goods from 33 least developed African countries. Green infrastructure projects like solar corridors in Kenya and electric bus lines in Latin America. China looks less like a builder with deep pockets and more like a strategic investor with careful bets. But for the developing world, this reversal hurts. Countries like Zambia, Ethiopia, and Pakistan are now paying billions each year just to service debt. Zambia alone owes $6.3 billion to Chinese entities. Ethiopia's debt stands at $13.7 billion. Pakistan spends about $1.2 billion a year in interest payments. Nearly 60% of China's overseas loan portfolio is now tied up in nations facing debt distress or high risk of default. And let's be clear, this is not just a China problem. This is a debt problem. Developing countries owe a staggering $3.6 trillion to external creditors. Of that, $1.1 trillion is owed to private lenders, $550 billion to multilateral like IMF and World Bank, and $340 billion to China. In many African countries, private creditors actually take a bigger cut of repayments than China does, up to 40% in some cases. What does this mean for India? It's a warning shot. The era of easy infrastructure money is ending. If countries want to build, they will need smarter funding models, more transparent public-private partnership, stronger debt management, and a sharper focus on sustainability. India's approach is already shifting through initiatives like the India-Middle East-Europe corridor and its focus on digital public infrastructure. New Delhi is positioning itself as a development partner that offers stability instead of dependence. And what about the world? This is what a power shift looks like. The global south is waking up to a new reality. Credit lines aren't infinite and big lenders don't stay generous forever. So here's the question we must ask: can developing countries truly set their own course when the wallet belongs to someone else? If you like this video, share it, and if you want more data-driven stories that dig deeper than headlines, hit subscribe to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon. Follow us on Instagram and X for real-time updates. Stay tuned to OneStats for the news that matters.